right, y'all. It's your boy Skinny the Pebble.
It's your boy Cam Tatum.
Hey, man, we got a special one for y'all today, man. Repping Cobb County. Cobb County legend, Atlanta legend, Georgia legend. Man, it speaks for itself, man. Bringing up to the mic, man. Glen Rice Jr. What's going on, bro?
What's going on? I appreciate y'all for having me.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, my dog, man. Happy to have you, man. Appreciate you coming up here and blessing the show, man.
So, okay, you gonna ask me the first question? You got him?
I'm gonna let you take it away.
You know what I'm saying? So, hey, bro. So when we come on here, the first question we ask, man, and who's the first person, man, to give you some work on the court, man? The person usually like, damn, he gave me that work.
That's crazy because I just had that conversation probably not too long ago, but
first person to make you say, man, I gotta go back in here and get in the lab. I thought I was like that, but
Bro say, I don't even know that exists.
Bro, I'm talking about even when you was a youngin', all, you know what I'm saying?
Bro said it don't exist, bro.
Nah, for real, because we just had that conversation. I don't really remember nothing like that.
It ain't even exist.
No, I can't say it ain't never exist because maybe somebody can come correct me, but I don't.
So, is it anybody in the city of Atlanta that you looked up to as before you got to high school and things, and you said, hey, this is a guy from Atlanta and I like his game?
No, because I ain't really watch basketball that much.
Yeah, you didn't watch it. So we were talking behind the scenes. You said your first love was football.
I ain't gonna say that was my first thing I played. Yeah.
First day you played football.
So would you say you better at football than you are at basketball? Because I mean, you're a hell of a basketball player. So
I think I could have been real good at football. Definitely.
What position you play?
Defensive end and tight end.
Okay. Tight end. You a big tight end with 6'7", 6'6", 6'7"?
6'5".
You got hands?
The best.
Okay. So, man, we're going to dive into, let's talk about, what high school did you go to coming up in Atlanta?
I went to Walton.
Walton High School? You did all 4 years there?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So let me ask you this. With being at Walton, why not Willa at that time? Why not Willa?
Walton. Really because Walton was just, let me think.
Because you know
because we had thought about going to Wheeler. We had even looked at, they had like a magnet program or something there. But I just liked it Walton because I got to do a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have been able to do at Wheeler.
Gotcha. And it was your team.
Yeah, it was more so my team, man. I got to do what I needed to do.
So that's a note right there, man, because a lot of guys you see they come together, they want to go to high school. And so sometimes you can benefit by just being your own guy and being the man of the school and making a program what it is versus going to a program and trying to fit in and be a part of their system.
Right, but in the beginning it was more so probably just because Walton had a better school program because, you know, Deuce was more so about the school program. So I was going to go there.
Play about that school.
And I'm going to tell you just, you know what I'm saying, just because I follow high school football too. I never heard of Walton being the basketball school until you got there. Until your name, it was football like you had. Because you had, I think the running back was Tyron. I think his name was Tyron, was the running back, ended up going to Alabama around your same time. I think his name was Tyron or something like that. And I used to watch him and things of that nature. And they was like, oh, Walton, Glen Rice Jr., that he cold. I'm like, for real?
Did you play with Ryan?
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say. And by the time any of that happened, we was already trying to figure it out, and Ryan Harrell ended up coming. So I played with him, and we was already good enough to be able to not. There was no need for us to go.
Ryan Harrell, combo guards.
Right.
Oh, man. I was older than y'all, so I was already in school, so I never really got to see that combination. So can you talk about how that was? I mean, like, as excited as a player as he was, like.
No, Ryan used to, you know, he always scored that ball real nice and easily, and he finds you anywhere. So it was cool playing with him.
Would you say it helped you be the player that you are because having a point guard like that, like you just said, was able to find you? It made your job a little bit easier.
I would say, yeah. I mean, every teammate that helps you. You know what I mean?
Specifically, the point guard and you being a 2-3.
I mean, you know me. I play point guard a little bit, so I think it just was good for us to be able to just win and do things like that. And he more so helped me just trying to learn his handles and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to be able to imitate him and trying to
ball, patting, everything, rocking folks and stuff.
That type of stuff. I think I learned more so of that.
That's how you developed your game, your handles and everything.
I wouldn't say all of that, but
it would help. It enhanced.
You know what I'm saying? I definitely wanted, because I liked to compete.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like watching Lorenzo Brown, that was one of my friends. He had handles. You know what I'm saying? Ryan Harrell, he had handles. So you want to be able to just dribble and do things that they could do.
Gotcha. So on that, so now we're in the recruiting process.
But before we get to the recruiting process, you're now in your own, and your junior and your senior year, you're Cobb County Player of the Year. Your region, if I'm not mistaken, it is region. What's the region you guys played in? Because I was in the.
They were 6A then.
Region 6A. It changes so many times. Region 6A Player of the Year, your junior and your senior year, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I think junior year.
So now you're rated as a 4-star recruit on Rivals.com, and now you're getting this publicity, and of course you got the name, junior behind that. On top of that, so people already know you got the pedigree behind you. So now the recruiting thing starts to heat up as Kenny is starting to allude to.
And for a lot of guys, you know what I'm saying, they always lead the state of Georgia. And Paul Hewitt, I mean, that 09 class was crazy. Like, I'm looking at Tech, and I remember being excited about Tech because they signed you. But I want to talk about one, what made you choose Tech? And, did you feel any pressure of, even though, like you say, I heard Michigan offered you later. Did you have any pressure? Did you want to go to Michigan and follow in your pop's footsteps? Or did you want to continue that? Or you just like, hey, I'm doing my own thing. I'm writing my own path.
It was more so I just grew up in Atlanta. I grew up so close to here that leaving I probably didn't feel like I didn't want to leave. And the recruiting class was good, and it was people that that I had not necessarily known personally, but I had known from just the basketball circuit. You know what I'm saying? Derek Favors, Mufon. You know what I'm saying? I'd seen him at the 5-star. I played against him so many times. And it just was also my AAU.
Sean was there.
But also more importantly was my AAU teammate, Camion Hosey.
Hosey,
So he, you know what I mean? So we had played AAU for 2 years. Yeah, we had played 2 years of AAU together. So when he said he was going, it was like,
done deal.
This is, you know what I'm saying? This is. I know these people.
I ain't gonna tell you no story. I was excited about that Georgia Tech team.
I was too.
You know what I'm saying?
And then we had the recruiter Charlton Young. He ended up leaving though.
Going to Maryland. He ended up basically doing the switcheroo with Robert Carter.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, he came from Maryland, and Robert Carter was at Tech, and he switched and went to Maryland. They both was 4-men. So it was almost like a switcheroo almost.
The coach, Charlton Young.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm completely off. I'm thinking about Charles. I thought you said Charles. Okay, my apologies.
Oh, yeah, that was after. I think that was probably after me because Robert Carter, I know who you're talking about. He from here.
Mm-hmm. So you at Tech now as a freshman. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching these games like, you dropping some 20s now as a freshman. You probably don't remember. I remember. I think your freshman year, and Cal, I know you probably I think you had like 5 games you dropped 20 your freshman year. Like, you coming out giving buckets as a freshman. And I'm sitting there like...
I mean, I remember in the beginning, freshman year, I didn't get to play much.
Yeah.
He was talking about redshirting me. Mm-hmm. And I ain't play much, and eventually, I ended up getting there. I think I might even start eventually.
Started in the final 11 games of your freshman season.
Right. Eventually, you know what I'm saying? I think I ended up starting. I had a lot of good games.
Your sophomore season is when you had your breakout. Is when you started to break out more. Mm-hmm. That's when you started you had your 6 20-point games. And then you started to find yourself, starting to find your groove, get used to the college play, which a lot of guys do from that freshman to that sophomore, especially when they have aspirations to get into the league, they make that jump. So after that, what can you talk about? What was the difference that you saw from your freshman year? Was it just experience, or was it just
I think it probably had a lot to do with experience and just the role was bigger too. So I had experienced it, and then I ended up having to get shot into that role a little early because we had a lot of guys get drafted, like Favors, Gani Lawar, I think maybe even Zach Peacock, or you know what I'm saying, just a lot of seniors maybe had left, or I don't remember. So
and then Shump left after
my sophomore year.
After your sophomore year. So now after that you have a good sophomore campaign, kind of run into a little bit of trouble there, and so now you got to start redirecting your path. So now it's okay, now I'm going to become a pro.
Because then I still did my junior. I did my junior year with the new coach.
Okay. Yeah, Paul got out.
Yeah, Brian Gregory.
Okay. Can you talk about that experience with him as a coach? Because Paul Hewitt, obviously they're two totally different. I was recruited by Paul Hewitt, so I don't really know much about Brian Gregory, but I do know a little bit about Hewitt.
So Brian Gregory is just, how that is just different, just new. Because now you got to learn something completely different, completely new, and implementing their system exactly. And
you might not have been his guy,
or or whatever whatever it might be. And I started off pretty good, and eventually ended up just not being on the team anymore.
Mm-hmm. So then now you gotta go a different route. Now you're talking about going through the professional ranks and stuff like that. You hire an agent.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Who are you talking to at this point? Who are you consulting? Are you consulting Big Glen? You talking to your mom? You talking to your brothers? Who are you talking
to? My dad for a majority of the time, you know what I'm saying, and talking to maybe to his old agent, you know, and things like that. My mom, of course, I'm still talking to the college people because I'm still taking visits and stuff because
transfer.
You
got a red shirt year too.
That's the obvious thing that you would think that I'm supposed to do. So I'm thinking about that and where I might want to transfer to in red shirt. And nothing really
made sense.
I didn't really want to sit out the whole year. That's
not playing.
We ain't had a transfer portal like we have in now. Just be happy with the situation and be like, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? God, could you imagine if we had a transfer portal now?
I didn't even know they did it now.
Oh man, listen, bro, you can put your name in a little
like a hat
thing, like a little hat.
Yeah.
And teams be like, and the teams be like, oh snap, Glen Rice Jr. is available. He is leaving Georgia Tech. Ooh.
And you don't have to sit out either.
And you ain't got to
go to a lower classification.
See? Didn't know that.
Yeah.
See?
It's like a trade.
Free agency for college.
Free agency for college.
Yeah.
So it's great. Absolutely. So now at this point, do you hire an agent?
I don't hire an agent until after the D League.
After the D League.
So how you end up in the D League? So based on your decision, we know what your decision is, but they may not know. So
I decided to go to D League, and I just you'll put your name in, like, you had to sign, sign a
paperwork, all that type of stuff.
They'll put your name in the little draft because you
declare, you let them know.
You don't get to just pick whatever team unless you maybe go sign. I don't know how it works exactly, but I put my name in the draft, and somebody had drafted me out of the pool.
Okay. Now, what team drafted you? What team gave you a shot in the D League?
Rio Grande.
Rio Grande.
Yeah. What do you do in Rio Grande? Tear that mother
out there.
In the beginning, I didn't do nothing. That was the hard part.
It ain't about what you do; it's how you finish, man.
So it was a rough start coming D League.
Real. Well, it seemed rough for me.
Okay. Now, what made it rough? What was the experience?
Because, you used to playing. And then I get there and I barely made a team. And I think I barely made a team only because somebody ended up quitting. So they ended up putting me on the team. But I was on, what's it called? Not injury reserve, but like I was on the inactive
workers'
list.
comp. I was on the workers' comp too. That's what they do back then when they give you a little fake injury just to keep you on the team so you don't go out into the pool or nothing like that.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Shout out to the D League for that trickery.
Hey, man, just real fast. I was having a conversation with some guys, man. They talking about teams don't do stuff. I'm like, they find every loophole.
Man, they gonna find a loophole.
They gonna
if
find
they want you. That's how they got me, and it made it sound good too for me. Like they was like, man, we really like you. We really don't want you to go nowhere, so we want to keep you in the team, man. So you gotta injure. Allegedly. Let me stop that. Allegedly.
So now you just watching. You at the top, and then now you at the bottom in basketball. Now you watching.
I was happy at first because I'm thinking I'm gonna make the money. You know what I'm saying? Well, worst gonna work. I wasn't making no money in college, so I get to make something. But you don't get to make nothing here. You know what I'm saying? Because you inactive.
And you technically red shirt, which you didn't want to do.
Basically, so I just get to wait. I'm just there waiting. And finally, I want to say finally, I don't know, somebody got caught up, somebody got hurt. And I ended up getting them be active. But, in the beginning, I had told them, I think I'd rather just leave than be inactive. And, coach had, like Cam say, no, we really want you. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you should leave. It's a great opportunity.
He's selling it.
I mean, he saw it. It was a good thing, though, too, huh?
So it worked out.
Because
it worked out.
I don't want to say he wasn't selling no
You averaged 25. You averaged 25, 9.5 rebounds, and 4.3 assists, and 2 blocks and 2 steals a game in the playoffs.
Yeah, that was...
So coming out playing.
No. I'm sorry.
Not playing.
These stats, bro. Including averaging 29, 11.5, 4 assists, 3 steals, 3.5 blocks in the D League Finals. Bro, that's like.
Hold on, and they had to think about playing you.
And they had to think about playing you at first. So now, what is like? I got to ask because as a player that's been in that situation, well, not necessarily in that situation in the D League. What are these teams? What are they saying to you now?
Like right now,
if you can remember, I'm talking about from
that.
After you posted all that, what are they saying to you now? What is the talk now? The talk was you just sat here and just said that you had to wait till somebody get injured or somebody got called up to the point where you led this team. I don't know who else had better numbers on that team. I can't really see nobody else having better numbers. But you literally are the focal point into leading this D League team into a championship as a rookie. That's rookie. I don't care what type of league you're in, as a rookie in any league that you're in, dog, that's very impressive. So now, what is the talk now?
Then, now just try to get to the draft.
Get to the draft. So you end up getting drafted. You get drafted by Philly, and then the Wizards, and then it's a draft day trade with the Wizards.
Yeah.
So you're there with the Wizards, and I'm looking. I don't know if. I am actually in the D League myself at this point, and I am looking back. My perspective is like, oh man, this man really did it. It's possible. Like now, I'm about to be next because I'm in the D League trying to be like, man, I already put my name in the draft, so I knew I wasn't going to get drafted based off of that. But you really showed that because at that point in time, there was a stigma in the D League that if you got in the D League, man, you were pretty much stuck. And you wasn't getting out. Dog, you came in there and dominated. And there's been guys who dominated the D League, played well, been D League all-time leading scorer. My teammate, Ronaldo Major, shout out to Ronaldo Major. He was a 9-year vet, all-time leading scorer in the D League, and it was hard for him to get calls up. You came in and did that and got drafted off of that. Like...
Yeah, I got to see some of that later. You know what I'm saying? After I got drafted. I think it was just because... like we had said, the route that I had took, that I was the only person that put up them numbers, but be able to be drafted. You know what I'm saying? Still, I was still young. That was just my senior year of college, basically.
Right. So you still had a lot of that, a lot to prove. You know, a lot of people don't know if they haven't played against you. You a dog, so it's like if you ain't coming with that, I'm gonna compete and try to bust your ass every time. You gonna get the worst of it.
Then I always compete.
You always gonna compete. That's one thing I know. I was telling the guys behind the scenes. I was like, man, when we playing pickup ball, for sure, you're gonna be a number 1 or number 2 pick just because my whole thing with hooping is off competing. I know you're gonna compete too. So you got your stint. You do 2 years. You do 2 years with Washington.
So you getting drafted, man. So now, coming from the city, you hear your name called. What is it like to hear your name called on draft day, man? What is that feeling? Is it a feeling? Is it a euphoria? Like, or are you like, damn, like
you get emotional, man? You be like, dog, all this hard work.
Or was it a chip on your shoulder? Like, y'all wait till the second round. I just did 29 against pros, and y'all want to take me second round? Or was it like, all right, good, we here?
You know, I had already left, went upstairs. I don't even think they had to call me so I could run down there and go see it. But in the beginning, like you said, I just was, I'm ready to go. I've been watching this for so long. It's supposed to be, somebody's supposed to
call my name.
Ben called my name.
Please.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes I watch it. I'm hungry.
Please. You know what I'm saying? I'm begging it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody at least. So.
Because I can go. Y'all see what I can do.
You know what I mean? You know, of course, you always think so. But then, of course, once you do see it, then all of that stiff, all of that, you know what I'm saying? Call me. I can't believe you ain't called me. All of that went away because
you called.
You know what I'm saying? Right. Everybody else emotional. So it was a good feeling.
So now you up there in Philly. You got John Wall. You got Bill. Got all these guys. So now you back at the bottom again.
Is Porter there too?
Yep.
Porter there too. That was my only concern. Was not that I felt like you were better than Porter, but just you know how the politics go. I think they just took him with the number 4 pick, maybe just the year before or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was number 3 the same year though.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we the same class.
And so in Washington, you stepping in, you the rook. What's the experience?
That's what I think it was all time.
So was it because Washington, the career part of Washington is like they had other guys, and I'm pretty sure you was getting them guys working practice. I'm pretty sure you going at them, you going at their neck. I mean, you coming out 29-11 D League. And was there a lot of politics up in Washington that prevented your career from really flourishing up there?
I mean, I think it was just, we had a lot of good guys that was just older.
Just getting it done.
Yeah, got drafted higher. Well, they was doing good enough.
One more question. I know Cam got some good. The first thing you bought that first check, man, that check hit. First thing you did.
I don't think I did nothing for real. Got my apartment so I can have somewhere to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Didn't go stupid with it, nothing.
Mm-mm.
So now you transitioning. So you take 2 years off?
After
No, you don't.
No.
I follow you a little bit. This is when I personally start to come into knowing about Glen Rice and start following him. You do some stints in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You get it out the mud, like for real. Like, because people don't really know what it's like playing in Mexico. Like, when you go from a Washington Wizards NBA draft pick to Mexico, and this is no disrespect to anybody that's playing in Mexico. No disrespect. Respectfully. When you go from that to that, it's like, oh yeah, he done. He over with. And I think you went to Mexico like 2 or 3 times, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, couple times.
And I'm like, what is he? In the back of my mind, I'm like, what in the world is he doing? Like, bro, you got an NBA tag. Why are you going to Mexico? Why aren't you going here, X, Y, Z? So then you pop up in the Philippines because you are giving work per usual in Mexico.
Right.
Like you doing your thing. Like, so you go to the Philippines. As a player myself, I've dreamt to go play in the Philippines because I've heard obviously the money is great.
The Philippines was nice.
Yeah.
Did you get all of it in the Philippines, or did they still owe you when you left?
No, Philippines did right.
That's the thing about the Philippines. They
They
ain't
everything.
play about their money.
Right.
Anything
They
Asia
get everything,
related,
yeah.
they not playing about their bread. Anything Asia related.
You sign for it, you get it.
One thing that I can't say is a lot of overseas dudes be lying about their money. But if they play in Asia, if they say they getting it, they got it. That's for sure. So you go to play there. I heard the Philippines basketball. I heard it is what it is as far as like, you know, it's short seasons and you get to, they give you the ball, you get to be the man, you get to shoot 30 times a game, all of that. We'll talk about that experience. That was your that's your second experience overseas, but now you're in like big time basketball. Now you're starting to see like, oh, okay, it's different than Mexico I was just playing in.
Well, yeah, you know that's what everybody always say, but basketball almost was, I think, probably was better in Mexico almost.
Really?
It just was, yeah, because you got basically 5 Americans. You know what I'm saying? 4 or 5 Americans.
Because it's so close, you ain't really going over the water. You at home practice.
You know what I'm saying? Because you can have 3 or 4 Americans.
Yeah.
And then you got a Mexican American who been
Basically
American. You know what I'm saying? His whole life. So it's like, these are the people that's coming to you know what I'm saying, to the runs and pick up that we coming into. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of more so.
You at home, basically.
It's kind of more so of a basketball wise, it was different. But you playing basketball, you passing, you shooting, you picking and rolling, you doing this and another. And then in the Philippines, it just was different because, like you said, your role is just so much bigger. Like it ain't.
You here.
They don't care about all that.
You like a real life brand over there to these people. Like now you like, okay, yeah.
All that passing and all that, you know what I'm saying? Win the game by scoring 40. You know what I'm saying? Is what they want you to do.
Go off.
Do what you got to do, man. Because my first game, I don't think I did it. I didn't score that much. I thought I had played decent, but I just hadn't scored that much. Probably like 23, 25.
Good, decent game.
Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? We did all right? Nah, I didn't think so.
So you here to drop some 50s.
You here because the dude was just, you know what I'm saying? The dude what you here for.
To be the man off the bat. This is what we paying you these amount of money.
That was kind of different.
Gotcha.
So after that, you gotta have a situation there, and sounds like you have something going on with somebody on the court. Was that a teammate? Was somebody else on the court or another player?
That was somebody on the other team, basically. And he just, you know, overseas they always got somebody, I guess, basically just come in and be real physical.
Be that guy.
You gotta be the goon.
Who is the Tom Chaney? Be the goon.
You gotta have your goon.
No, act like we don't know about him.
You gotta have your goons.
Mm-hmm. And they just, I think they basically ejected me for that.
Dude, just
getting into him.
Because if somebody come up to and disrespect you, and you supposed to be as a professional, you're just supposed to be allowed to tolerate that and take that.
Yeah, for the most part.
And that's just, as a man, just simply not going to take that. Understandably.
Yeah, he did a lot of flopping.
Mm-hmm. So, the next thing is you go to Israel. Hapoel. How's life in Israel?
It was cool.
Cool. And of course, now, like I said before, ever since then, you're on my radar now. Because now, as a basketball player, even as me being active as a professional, when I see other players that I think is good, I pay attention to. Especially now, I think we were competing against each other in the runs, at Wallace Prather runs, and again now I'm with my boy Kenny all the time, so he's talking about you. So you're on Hapoel and you're tearing it up. I think you end up being Israel Cup. You end up winning the Israel State Cup there, and then you're the MVP, or you win the scoring title in Israel that year.
I didn't get to finish.
You didn't get to finish, but I think because of you were tearing it up so quickly. I mean, you were tearing it up the way that you were. Nobody was going to catch you where you were scoring at anyway. But why didn't you? What happened? What can you talk about? Well, I know what happened. The situation that happened, but is there anything that you would like to clear up? Because the way that it's perceived is just like
you was the troublemaker.
You was the troublemaker. Like you was the instigator in it. Like you was the guy that just kind of like, all right, my team just win or loss. I just had 25. Now I'm just gonna go in here and just go crazy on somebody.
I mean, no, just altercation. I'm saying me and my teammate
when
nothing out of the ordinary. Something that
regular locker room.
If you play basketball on a very, very competitive level, you're gonna have altercations. So you're not gonna like your teammates in your locker room. That just ain't it. And every time, and even overseas,
and even if you do like the person,
you still
gonna have disagreements.
You're gonna disagree
sometimes,
especially in if you're dealing with two alphas. You know what I'm saying? If you're dealing with two alphas, you're gonna have disagreements, especially in the basketball world. So if I'm not mistaken, we kind of talked about it. The guy was upset with you. I mean, the name doesn't even matter, but he was upset with you because he felt like he wasn't getting enough touches. Mind you, you were averaging, I mean, upwards of the 5 and 6 assists a game, 4.7 to be exact. So you're obviously passing the ball while you're averaging 24 a game. So if you're averaging 24 and 5 assists a game,
and on top of that, they brought you there to score.
To score.
To be the man.
For guys who don't know, that this is my job. This is what I'm here for. So why are you? You say he was clapping his hands like, "Hey man, pass the ball." This, getting real kind of like disrespectful. I know how some teammates could do. So you're in the locker room, or you're walking out the game. You're in the locker room, and he does.
You know what I mean? I don't know. Altercation.
Does he say something to get under your skin? Does he say like besides him just saying pass the ball, he's like, man, pass the fucking ball, or you, man, you know how some guys get to where they start talking crazy and they be like, man, you a ass nigga and you a hoe ass nigga, that type of stuff, yada yada yada, and he's like, hold on now, because some guys feel like you can talk to somebody like that. And knowing, because with basketball players, it's just talking, they ain't really finna do nothing. But you really know that with some people in some of this basketball world, it's really, really like, ain't gonna tolerate no disrespect.
Can't disrespect me like that.
It was one of those type of situations. It's like, bro, you're not gonna disrespect me, bro. Point blank, period. I don't care about anything. I'm a man first. If you got a problem with me, you can address me in the right way. But I ain't finna be none of these bitch ass niggas and and all that type of. I'm not finna be that.
You know me.
That's one thing. See, Glenn, I ain't gonna lie, man. That's one thing I can commend about you with any of these situations, bro. Is that, and I guess that's why this makes this topic so interesting, because any of this stuff that they have you talking about, you ain't never tried to
throw nobody under
the bus. You ain't never tried to even talk about it. You just took it and just kind of been like, hey man, I was a part of it. This was me. Like, I accept my responsibility. I just know you personally now to the point where it's like, I know you ain't just really just walking by somebody and just uppercutting them, bro. Like, I know that ain't you.
Nah, never.
But I think because what happened is they starting to paint the picture against you. You know what I'm saying? The Philippines situation, sure. And now you in Israel.
No, they definitely done painted a picture that ain't good, and it ain't always 100% true.
What it is, but it's easy depending on you because you the star.
Yeah,
and you just kind of like
they just come with it
with the territory.
Just come. I ain't because ain't nobody 100% perfect, no way. So sometimes got a little bit to do with some of these, but I don't. They're not normally as big as
they try to make it seem.
It's just that.
But it's because it's you.
It's because it's you.
It gotta be. It's gonna be big because it's you.
Right.
Got you.
So you do. So you go back to Mexico for another year, and you even do Brazil, not Brazil. You do Dominican Republic.
How was that? How was DR, man?
Good. I don't remember. I have been there a couple of times.
Okay.
But I think the other time I was there with G.
Oh, Big G.
Yeah,
Big
Gerard.
G. Okay.
Yeah, he had got the Finals MVP. We ended up winning the championship down there.
Okay. So pretty much everywhere you go, you win.
You win the championship.
Like you gonna win, you gonna score buckets, you gonna win, or you gonna be in the contention to win.
For the most part.
So it's like everything that y'all will try to say, you know what I'm saying, it don't really be what it is. And I also win.
That,
what more do y'all want?
You know, that's how we look at it from the basketball perspective. You know what I'm saying? That's what y'all want us to do, win. We win games.
So after your stints in Central and South America, you now come back up to, you back in Australia.
New Zealand, yeah.
New Zealand. In the Australian League, that's one of the top leagues now in the whole world now. You just seen LaMelo Ball getting drafted. They got a couple of Josh Childress, who I think was the first guy that made it real hot by leaving the NBA and going to play over there. And then I had a teammate, Scotty Hobson, play there. I think was your teammate there during that time in New Zealand. So when you resurfaced back on there, I was like, okay. And I think I've been training with you over, like I said, again, at Wallace. So we had been really in communication. And I was like, okay, you're going to go over there and tear it up. And that's exactly what you did. But you got into another situation.
Right.
And again, another situation where it just looked like, all right, because of who it is, and I ain't gonna lie, from
previous
me,
instances
when the news first hit, it was like, for me, like I said, now I'm with you. Now I'm taking you, dropping you off places. We ride in the car, and I'm like, bro just misunderstood. And so now I see it, and now you're going over there, and you do that, and I'm like, well, god dang, bro, like, I just was with him, and I know he got it together. Like, this ain't him. Like, this really, it's not him. I know this not him. But then the news outlets is like, nah, bro, just went into a bar and just
got into a fight of a brawl, and
you know what I'm saying? It got to a fight in the brawl. Again, we talked a little bit behind the scenes, and it was, now that I got to understand, this is my first time today hearing more about it. We played a video game together all the time, and we haven't talked about it. This is the first time we've ever talked about it. Long story short, you say, because we know now that you're a guy that don't like to talk about it. Some guy who was a name doesn't even matter. I don't even know the guy's name. Played another sport out there. There might have been some jealousy. He might have been drunk. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, whatever the case is. The police come and tell you what happened. You say, I failed. So you don't even tell the police what happened because that's who you are. You're like, man, I don't, nothing, whatever happens between me and that person, ain't got nobody else it really matters.
I mean, you got to think, just when you come from like where we come from, you ain't trying to put the law in anything.
Absolutely.
What happened on the streets or what happened in the locker room, that's where it happened at. If you win, I win, whoever, we can move past.
That's where we stay at.
You know what I'm saying? You messing up for money when you start bringing in the police and you messing up my life now. Because no matter what, they gonna paint me to be the bad guy. They don't know you all over the world.
Because of what my reputation has been, even though the reputation that I've had ain't necessarily accurate to what the stories was reporting. So we don't know now. We know how people, it's 2019, and we live in a world where everybody tries to go viral. Who's to say that now you just signed to this New Zealand Breakers, you are Glen Rice Jr., you're a former NBA draft pick. Who's to say that this guy from Australia, who was whatever on the whatever other sports team, ain't looking for some clout, ain't looking for, to go viral or something like that? Who's to say that? Because we live in a time to where these people really do that. And in a sense, I think something comes out to where they present some video footage that actually works in your favor.
Clears your name.
That clears your name. And then you're able to come back and drop 27 and pop up all over, switch culture after a suspension that they feel like is completely your fault. And everybody's like, well, how is he able to just have the mindset to come back from all that and just kill and just still be the dog? Well, for one, a lot of people might not know, like, well, shit, I ain't had nothing to do with it. So I'm finna come right back up to my job and I'm finna do what I'm supposed to do, hoop, play, because, you know what I'm saying? I know my involvement in it, and I'm back on the court for a reason.
Right. And just, basketball at any time, it's just, even if you had something to do with it, you just
keep it moving.
It's basketball. This is relaxing. This is something you get to do, you know what I'm saying? That's just where you get to take your mind off of everything anyway. And it's fun to actually play the sport. You know what I'm saying? When you get to play and you actually have the ball and you actually get to play and you in a role that you enjoy. So it's basketball, that's always going to be the easy part.
It's everything off the court that make it different.
It's going to be everything on and off the court that's other than the basketball game.
You seem like you're able to just tune that out, though. Like some people, it's hard for them. It affects them. But you got the ability to not just tune it out, but just come out and still be you and dominate.
During the basketball game, it's just
you and the ball.
It's like meditating.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because that is the say for you. That's the haven.
You don't got to do nothing else at this point in time. For
no
at least
worries.
An hour and a half. All you got to do is worry about one thing, and it's just winning and playing basketball.
So the court, that 94 feet of space, that's your haven right there. That's
along with for the other things, or really anything, activities like that is just relaxing.
Relax and get your mind off of it.
So what is so you still hooping? I know you had a stint in Saudi Arabia and in Juventus, so it's all during the 2020 times, and also it's been a real tricky time during this COVID. So I know that's really been a huge effect on a lot of people. But are you still active? Are you still trying to go back overseas? Are you still trying to get back in the league? What are where you stand at right now?
Our options, open now. Just now playing basketball when it comes around, when it makes sense. Yeah.
So Glen Rice is a free agent to whoever teams are seeing this. I hope these reach the right teams and actually hopes to put a light on some of the things that might be concerning you guys or the teams or whatever. Just to see that, obviously that there's been some misunderstandings in a lot of cases. So, he's obviously, you still healthy, you still good, no major injuries, nothing like that. You ready to go. You still going to be the same. I'm come off a plane, give you 25 and 7, 8, 10 rebounds a game.
That's always going to be the easy part.
For sure.
A lot of basketball and a lot of college.
So I'm going to ask you this, going back. Basketball, who's your GOAT? Who's your GOAT?
My GOAT is Tracy McGrady.
Tracy McGrady? I respect that.
That's fine. Hey, bro.
I respect that.
He's still the GOAT.
Hey, bro, listen. Hey,
I respect that. I respect that.
It's the GOAT.
McGrady was a dog, bro. McGrady was a dog.
We're going to talk about Pierre just at their best.
Just wake up and just do it.
At their best, you know what I'm saying? Y'all just always want to give because
it's hard to go ahead. You're not talking about longevity.
When y'all talk about Jordan and LeBron, everybody always say, well, Jordan at his best was better than, you know what I'm saying, LeBron just because he had longevity. Okay, well, I'm going to get real small. Just because McGrady got hurt, I'm going to get real small during his time.
Tracy McGrady was that dog.
We're going to get real small. Get real small, simple size, not like that.
McGrady. When you go to Washington, is it a guy, who are you most excited to see up close and personal or compete against? Was it a guy like you just like, I can't wait to see him or be on the court and share this court with him? Was any of those guys? Did you have any of that?
No, but one, because I don't really watch basketball, and two, because the guys was people that I never really got to see play. Like Bradley Beal was younger than me, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't get to know much.
Bradley.
You know what I'm saying? Until I seen him in person, you know what I mean? John Wall, we the same year, so I already, you know what I'm saying? I already been excited about you already before, you know what I'm saying?
Now you get to play with him.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I see you at LeBron camp, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, hey, man, this is John Wall already once or twice. Now you just John Wall.
They peers now. Them your guys. Them just your peers.
Yeah.
We compete.
So anybody else,
You know,
they wasn't. Because those were the two franchise guys, right? From what I know.
So all the places you've been in the world, what was your favorite?
As in,
Living wise. We just off the court. Just living.
that's going to be hard.
I'm guessing
Depends
Saudi
on
Arabia. I'm guessing Saudi Arabia.
It depends on what city you was in Israel, man.
No, but you know, I really liked in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked in Mexico. And I like America, too. I like Miami. You know what I mean?
Spent a lot of time in Miami.
I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's loud.
The Philippines, not everything was nice for what they was nice for.
Gotcha.
The Philippines was nice.
I'd say, who was the best player? Did you watch Vincent Banks or did you watch Lou Will? Who are you taking? You don't know who Vincent Banks is?
Oh my God.
Man.
Hey, bro. One more time just for it.
Can we
If
please get
anybody
Vincent
knows
Banks on the
Vincent
show?
Banks, man, we gotta get.
You ever heard that name before? Oh,
Hey, bro. I would tell you, hands down, and this is no disrespect for the people that came after
Disrespected.
or before. Bro, best basketball player I've ever seen my own two eyes.
Disrespected.
No disrespect to you.
Too late.
disrespect.
Hey, man.
Too late.
Hey, listen.
Like I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, listen.
I don't want to say.
Hey, bro.
It is what it is.
Listen.
He's on the list of that list that they have of the top 30 over the last decade, which was made in 2013. Lou Will was number 1 and Vincent Banks was number 4 on that list. Dwight Howard was number 2.
Number 2.
And I think somebody else was number 3.
And I think a lot of that has to do with post-high school career.
Yeah.
Glenn.
That's no stop because Lou Will did his shit.
I mean, I'm not saying that. Lou
Will tore it up in high school.
Lou tore it up.
Average 30.
Who had better stats in high school?
Lou Will probably over 4 years, right? I think Vincent Banks starting as a sophomore, right? Vincent Banks putting up 60s in an 8-minute clock. And we ain't talking about 60s layup. Bro could shoot.
This ain't no like about 60. This is 60.
Hold on.
So was Humphrey.
Yeah, but I'm about to just show you it ain't that he don't have.
You got a good point there.
Yeah. Like, bro, it was anywhere on the floor. Like, man, the region champ, we beat them at Tucker. So the first time we played them, Coach Hart would come up to us and say, hey, this guy is the number 1 guy in the state of Georgia.
What year was it?
That's like 02, 03 right there.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And so we go to South Carolina, they beat us by 3. We was like, we didn't see anything. We held him to 21. Like, so he come to Tucker, and we damn near get to fighting on the stage. So we beat him. We held him in foul trouble. He had 4 fouls going into the fourth quarter. We had him 3 points. But he had 21 in the fourth. He had 6 threes and 3 free throws and missed the game-winning 3 and rammed out. So we go to North Springs for the region championship. We ready. You know what I'm saying? We about to play for the region. So they running a 4-corner. So the point guard hit it to him. He goes to our coach and say, because we running a 3-2. He say, this what y'all going to do tonight? He didn't even wait for us to break the zone. He wasn't trying to hold the ball. He took 1 dribble, fired that bitch. Woo! He said, you better come with another game plan. The next play. Woo! I mean, he's shooting it down. He damn near shooting it from half court. He had 32 at halftime. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter, he had 42. He told the coach to take him out the game. Bro was just a walking bucket. He was hitting 50. He was hitting 50s and 60s like it wasn't nothing.
Hey, so man, we also looked up, man, looking up your profile before you came in here. I saw you had a little stint on the Housewives.
Housewives. And down in Miami.
Down in Miami.
In Miami.
Yeah. So that's like kind of guess for what I looked at it from the outside looking in, I say you was tapping into your acting skills. Man, this is just the entertainment value of the part, man, of the show. Just want to know what was your involvement in that? How did you get involved in the Housewives, man?
My auntie on that show.
Okay, so for those that don't know, who's your auntie? For those that don't know,
Tammy.
Okay.
I don't know because I don't really watch the Housewives like that.
Shit.
So
I'm saying you a grown man.
Okay, so your aunt is on there. Okay, how was that, man? Like it was just was what it was. It was just okay.
Say Reggie, what?
You had
So you plan on going back on the Housewives, man, making another appearance on there, man?
Yeah.
Hey, man, you get on there a little bit, man, before you go back overseas, man. Get on the Housewives. Hey, man. Hey, bro. I was gonna say, man, you know, bring your boy Skinny with you, man. Hey, listen, y'all go to, man, I'm taking my shirt off, dog. They gotta see the pebble, dog. They gotta see the pebble, bro. Hey, you say, man, we got Cam, we got King, we got Harry, and we got Skinny in there, man. We with you, bro.
Hey, man, because listen, I think this podcast about to take off, dog. So I really think that we can, you know what I'm saying, we can get, because what we have, we started on Clubhouse, we can even get a spinoff, man. We can get the Real Faithful Black Men of Atlanta. I'm just showing
these guns, dog.
Real Faithful
Black Hey, they ain't the biggest, but they, you know what I'm saying?
This is you know what I'm saying? This is what Skinny and I, or more so what Skinny has started online on the Clubhouse, the Faithful Black Men of America. So we can go of Atlanta, the Faithful Black Men of Atlanta. So you know what I'm saying? We can get a spinoff. You know what I'm saying? So you know,
never cheated.
You know, so tell Auntie,
hey, I need a little graphics. Ever. He gonna put the graphics with that shit. Never cheated. Never. LeVar Ball never lost. And I've never cheated.
So yeah, man. All right, but back to the hoop thing. As we getting ready to wrap this thing up, man. So you say you still hooping? Is there anything else outside of hoop that you doing, or you just really just locked in? Or is this? Can you give me a day in the life of Glen Rice Jr.?
Call of Duty, you know, basketball.
That's for sure.
You know,
7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning.
I gotta lock in because that's my hours. That's when I wake up.
Okay.
And then, other than that, I'm trying to figure out basketball things and maybe something else is just investing.
You're still young, man. You're still young. You still got a lot of years left in you to hoop, man. Like I said earlier, man, you're a dog. You know what I'm saying? You can really go. I know any team would be, you know what I'm saying, lucky to have you. You know what I'm saying? Blessed to have you for that matter.
Absolutely.
So.
And just one more thing too, man. And you know, because we got a lot of young kids that want to be that 1%. You know what I'm saying? Really less than 1% of just getting drafted and being professional, whether it's in the NBA, overseas, things like that. Is anything on your path, man, that you'll say to the young kids, man, just to look out for, or things of that nature, man, or certain steps that you felt like you probably take or you probably would do differently if you had to do it over again, or if you was talking to your younger self? Anything you would tell your 16, 17-year-old self?
I mean, you know, just certain things you gotta look out for. And I think everybody just gotta learn to do things the way they will. But I will tell them some things that I did that probably help you more so. Like going to the gym often, you know, if you really want to do that. I used to go in high school. I used to go before school started. You know what I mean? I work an hour before.
Get your shots up.
Every day before school. You know what I'm saying? Me and maybe one other person. And shower there, and that's it. I think if you really want to do something, you got to work. You got to put in the work.
Real. Got to put in the work. Can't wake up like this now.
For sure, man. Well, Glenn, man, again, dog, definitely want to thank you for coming on here.
Appreciate you for having me.
Blessing our show, man. Blessing the room, man, with your presence, dog, with your gems, with your stories, man. I think a lot of people are going to be able to take something away from this, and hopefully they'll get a different perspective on, you know what I'm saying, exactly, you know what I'm saying, who Glen Rice is, and that's what we wanted this thing to really be, man. So definitely appreciate you, my boy. You know what I'm saying? It's all love. Again, man, like thank you guys again for tuning in to the 94 Feet podcast, man. You click the links in the bio on YouTube, man. Special shout out to our guy Tony P.
Tony P does stuff.
Does stuff, man. Follow him on the Instagram, man.
Hey.
He's got to make all the magic happen for us.
Shout out to my boy King, too. Hey, we got to throw my boy King in there.
Yes, sir. Shout out to boy King for making all this happen, man. For sure, for sure.
Like they can see me and shit.
Hey, man, go ahead, pop in here, man. Go ahead, pop in here, King. Pop in.
Hey,
Pop
man,
in front of the camera real fast.
We had King on it as a guest, man. King is like an official family of the 94 Feet podcast, man. He's been with us since day one. But he's a legend in himself, so we definitely had to interview him too, man. So again, man, shout out to Marietta. How y'all say it, Marietta?
Oh yeah, Marietta.
Marietta finest, man. Shout out to Marietta finest, man, coming in and shop.
Real though, man. The real though.
The real one.
Say that.